Before making another cut, identify what kind of rose you are looking at. A repeat flowering hybrid tea, floribunda, or many modern shrub roses may respond well to selective summer deadheading and light pruning because they are actively producing new flowering growth. But a once-blooming old garden rose, a rambler, or a climbing rose may have a very different flowering cycle. Cutting it back at the wrong time can remove stems that were already carrying next season's flower potential. That is why summer pruning cannot be treated like a smaller version of winter pruning. During the growing season, the rose is already using its leaves to produce energy, supporting new shoots, developing flowers, and responding to heat and moisture conditions. A severe cut removes part of that working system at exactly the time the plant may need it most. And the first mistake begins when gardeners assume that every faded flower should be treated the same way. Mistake number 1, cutting every rose back the same way. A gardener sees a spent bloom and reaches for the pruners. The cut is made at the same height, on every rose every time. That feels efficient. But the important question is not simply, where is the faded flower? It is, what kind of rose is this? And what is this stem supposed to do next? On many repeat flowering roses, removing a spent bloom can redirect the plant away from an aging flower and encourage new growth from a lower bud. But the exact cut depends on the rose's growth habit and the strength of the stem. A vigorous hybrid tea may be deadhead differently from a shrub rose. A climbing rose may need its main framework preserved while only selected side shoots are shortened. And a once-blooming rose may be better pruned after flowering rather than repeatedly cut during the season. The mistake is treating a rose bush like a collection of identical stems. Instead, examine the shoot first. Find the spent flower, follow the stem downward, and look for healthy leaves and strong buds. The goal is not to remove as much as possible. It is to make a purposeful cut that matches the plant's flowering habit and preserves the structure you still need. Because sometimes the cut looks perfectly clean, and the real problem is how much living growth was removed along with the flower. Mistake number 2, cutting too far down the stem. One of the most common summer pruning habits is to remove a faded flower by cutting deep into the bush. The gardener sees a spent bloom, finds what appears to be a convenient leaf, and cuts several inches below it, sometimes removing a long section of healthy, actively growing stem. The cut itself may be clean. The problem is that the pruning has gone far beyond what was necessary. On many repeat flowering roses, deadheading is meant to remove the spent flower and make a thoughtful cut back to suitable healthy growth. Removing excessive stem can reduce the plant's current leaf area and eliminate developing side shoots that could have contributed to the next flush of growth. This matters even more during hot weather, when the plant is already managing heat and water stress. A better approach is to follow the flowering stem downward and look for a strong, healthy leaf set or bud in a position that supports the shape you want. A cut above an outward-facing bud can help keep new growth from crowding into the center of the plant. But the exact location should still reflect the rose's natural growth habit. And do not assume that a deeper cut automatically produces a stronger response. Sometimes the most effective summer pruning is the cut that removes exactly what needs to go and leaves the rest of the healthy, productive plant intact. The next mistake is more subtle, because the cut can be made in the right general location and still create a problem. Mistake number 3, making the cut in the wrong direction. A rose stem can be cut at the right height and still grow in a direction you did not intend. This happens when the bud beneath the cut is ignored. If you cut above a bud that faces toward the center of the plant, the new shoot may grow inward, adding to the congestion you are trying to prevent. Over time, several inward-growing stems can reduce airflow through the middle of the bush and make the plant structure more crowded. So before cutting, look closely at the bud just below your intended cut. When practical, choose a healthy bud that points outward, away from the center of the plant. Make the cut cleanly above it, without leaving a long stub, and without cutting so close that the bud itself is damaged. The goal is not to force every rose into a perfectly symmetrical shape. Roses naturally vary in their growth habits, and some varieties produce shoots in directions you cannot completely control. But a quick look at the bud can prevent a simple deadheading cut from directing new growth into an already crowded area. And there is another problem that gardeners often overlook entirely. Sometimes the issue is not where the cut is made, but what tool is making it. Mistake number 4, pruning with a blade that crushes the stem. A rose stem can look neatly cut from a distance while the tissue around the cut has actually been crushed. This often happens when pruners are dull, damaged, or used on stems thicker than they were designed to handle. Instead of making one clean cut, the blade squeezes the cane before breaking through. The result is damaged tissue around the wound. That does not automatically mean the rose will fail, but a ragged, crushed cut creates more damaged surface than a clean cut, and the injured area can dry back or become a weak point on the stem. There is also a second problem. Dirty tools can transfer plant pathogens from one cut to another. Before summer pruning, check that the blades are sharp enough to cut cleanly and that the tool is appropriate for the size of the stem. For larger canes, use a tool designed to make the cut without forcing or crushing the wood. Then examine the cut itself. A healthy pruning cut should be clean, with no long, ragged stub and no obvious crushing around the wound. But even a perfect cut can be a mistake if you remove a stem that should have been left in place. And this is where many experienced gardeners get caught, because the branch may look unnecessary now, while its role in the plant's future structure is not yet obvious. Mistake number 5. Removing healthy structural growth just because it looks unimportant. A rose bush can have a stem that produces no flower today and still be doing important work for the plant. This is where summer pruning becomes different from simply cleaning up everything that looks untidy. Gardeners sometimes remove healthy green canes because they are thin, awkwardly positioned, or not carrying flowers at the moment. But if that growth is contributing leaves and helping maintain the plant's framework, removing it can reduce the plant's productive canopy without solving a real problem. The better question is not, does this stem look perfect? Ask instead, is it dead, diseased, damaged, crossing badly, growing dangerously inward, or genuinely crowding more valuable growth? If the answer is no, it may be better left alone. A healthy stem with functioning leaves is still part of the plant's energy-producing system. And during summer, removing living growth simply for cosmetic reasons can be very different from removing wood that is genuinely interfering with the plant. This is especially important on roses that naturally produce a more open, arching, or informal shape. Not every stem needs to be forced into a rigid structure. Sometimes the most useful pruning decision is to put the pruners down. But there is one type of summer cut that can create a problem even when the branch truly does need to be removed. And it often happens when gardeners ignore what the weather is doing. Mistake number 6, making heavy cuts during extreme summer heat. A rose may genuinely need pruning in summer. Dead wood may need to come out. Diseased or damaged growth should not simply be left on the plant. And spent flowers may need to be removed, depending on the type of rose. The mistake is making a major structural cut as though the plant were dormant, while it is already dealing with intense heat, drought, or severe environmental stress. A large amount of leaf and stem tissue can be removed in a single session, leaving the rose with less canopy, while conditions are demanding more from the plant's remaining foliage. That does not mean summer pruning is forbidden. It means the plant's condition should be part of the decision. If the rose is already severely wilted, suffering from prolonged heat, or growing in unusually dry conditions, avoid unnecessary heavy pruning. Remove what is clearly dead, diseased, or damaged, and postpone non-essential structural work until conditions are more favorable when possible. And if a large branch must be removed, do not automatically follow that cut with a series of additional cuts simply because the pruners are already in your hand. Summer pruning should be purposeful. The final mistake is easy to overlook because the rose may still appear healthy afterward. But the cut itself can create a problem that develops slowly over time. Mistake number 7, leaving a long stub after the cut. A rose can appear perfectly pruned from a distance, yet one small detail at the cut can create trouble later. That detail is the stub. When a stem is cut too far above the bud, the remaining section of wood may die back instead of remaining healthy. The result is an unnecessary piece of dead tissue above the new growth point. But cutting too close can also damage the bud you are trying to preserve. The goal is a clean, deliberate cut positioned just above a suitable healthy bud, while avoiding damage to the bud itself. The exact angle should allow water to shed naturally rather than sitting directly on the cut surface. This is especially important when removing a larger cane. Do not leave a long piece of dead wood simply because the cut feels safer there. At the same time, do not cut aggressively into the bud collar or surrounding tissue. Look at the stem before you cut. Find the bud or branch you intend to preserve. Identify the point where the unwanted growth should end, and make one clean cut with a sharp tool. The rose does not need dozens of cuts to improve its shape. It needs the right cuts, made for the right reason. And that brings us to the simple summer pruning checklist that can prevent most of these mistakes before they happen. Before making any cut, stop and look at the rose as a whole. First, identify the rose type and its flowering habit. A repeat flowering rose may need regular deadheading, while a once-blooming rose or a climbing rose may require a very different approach. Next, ask what the stem is actually doing. Remove growth that is clearly dead, diseased, damaged, or creating a genuine structural problem. Be more cautious with healthy green growth that is still producing leaves and contributing to the plant's structure. When removing spent flowers, follow the stem downward and choose a suitable point for the cut rather than automatically cutting to the same depth every time. Look at the bud beneath the cut and, when appropriate, choose one that directs future growth away from congestion. Keep the cut clean. Avoid crushing the stem, leaving a long stub, or damaging the bud or surrounding tissue. And before making heavy summer cuts, consider the conditions around the plant. A rose already under serious heat or drought stress may not need additional, non-essential pruning at that moment. The most important habit is simple. Do not prune because a stem looks untidy. Prune because you understand what that cut will remove and what you want the plant to do next. If you grow roses, share the type you have and the pruning problem you have struggled with most. The right approach can vary considerably between a hybrid tea, shrub rose, climber, or old garden variety. Because good summer pruning is not about cutting more. It is about making fewer, more informed cuts that protect the plant's structure, preserve healthy growth, and support the flowering habit of the rose you actually grow.